Reaching the mountaintop is no easy feat. I'm not speaking metaphorically here. I'm talking about hiking to the summit of an actual mountain. I've done it a few times. As a resident of the Rocky Mountain region here in Colorado, it's a bit of a rite of passage to summit a 14er, as we call them, the highest peaks in the state that soar to above 14,000 vertical feet, up above cruising altitude, up above most of the world. Each time I've hiked a 14er, it's been alongside other hiking companions. And reaching the summit is, I don't know, it's really an amazing experience. When you get up there, you understand why people through the centuries have treated mountaintops as sacred, holy places, up above the world, nearer to God, among the clouds. It is an amazing experience. I think a large part of what makes reaching the summit such a euphoric and mystical feeling experience is what I'll call the pause. As you're approaching the summit, everything starts to buzz. Your blood is pumping from the long, steep, arduous climb. Your heart beats faster from the growing anticipation of reaching the top. You can hear the excited chatter of other hikers around you and those near you. And the people already on the way back down, they got these big smiles on their faces. The air is thin and the oxygen is sparse. Trees can't grow at this height, so there's a harsh exposure to the elements. You're hungry, you're thirsty, you can see the clouds and the weather moving all around you so clearly when you're up this close. Just around the next bend might be the end. You know you're getting close. Everything's buzzing. The last time our family summited a big peak out here, we rounded a bend almost at the top, surrounded by big 30-foot boulders on every side of us. And as we made the turn, my youngest daughter nearly walked smack right into a 200-pound beast of a male mountain goat that was blocking the trail. Talk about a buzz. Those last few hundred yards of the hike to the top of a big mountain are exhilarating. And then you reach the peak. And you can stop walking. And you just stand there quietly for a few moments, taking it all in, looking out over the world, sensing your achievement and your smallness, knowing that you're sharing this moment with the people who hiked with you. It's a pause, a holy pause. The world slows down at the top. Everything seems bigger and smaller at the same time. A mix of adrenaline, serotonin, dopamine, and whatever chemicals are in the spiritual sauce that floods your veins at that moment. Elation and exhaustion pulsing ever more steadily through your body. A pause, a sense of oneness with nature and God, and a shared sense of oneness with your hiking companions, knowing that this memory is everlasting and infinite, that you will always have this moment, this pause. Snap a picture, you eat the sandwich you packed, you chat about how hard that was and how beautiful this is, and then you head down. But that pause was holy, that pause. Be still and know that I am God. That's Psalm 46. That psalm is all about sensing God in the natural world all around us. It's all about feeling small in the face of mountains and storms and seas and all the nature that surrounds us. It's about the holy pause when we acknowledge the grandeur, we sense the oneness we feel, the holy moments in our lives, often quietly shared with people we care about, when we deeply feel God around us and between us. We should pause more often. We shouldn't reserve these holy pauses for the literal mountaintops. In fact, we should find ways to have those mountaintop feelings in the typical elevations and altitudes of our life. We should pause when a person shares the truth with us. We should pause when we hear the words, I love you. We should pause when we learn on social media that a friend is ill or in need. We should pause when someone has something to celebrate. We should pause more often and breathe in the sacredness and immensity and the details of the world that we're in. Did you know that when people are having a conversation, the average pause between taking turns in the conversation is only 200 milliseconds? We don't pause to listen. We don't pause to understand each other. We don't pause to consider what we might learn from each other. We don't pause to reflect on the mountains we have each climbed in our lives in order to make it to this shared moment. We don't pause. We should pause more often. That pause is holy. Maybe the metaphorical spiritual mountaintop we all hope to reach in our lives one day is actually right where we stand. Maybe we're already at the summit. Maybe we just need to pause and notice how far we've climbed and how incredible it is to be here with the people we've been climbing with. Here's a short prayer. God, help us pause. Help us to stop, listen, and look around and truly see the wonder you've infused in every vista and every person we encounter. Help us pause. Help us breathe in the lofty air of deep connection. Help us pause. Help us sense your presence in every breath and every smile. Help us pause, God. Amen. Hey, Between is about you. Take this message into your life this week and fill the space between you and every person you encounter with your sacred light and maybe a few more pauses. My favorite church is the space between people. Now go with God's love and create the church between.